Welcome, everybody. We're going to do a little Sunday stream here. That's right, Sunday stream. And of course, Kaisa is the first one in the chat. Good evening, Coffee. What's up, Hexicans? Hello, Kaisa. Thank you for being number one, first, always in the chat. Happy Sunday, everybody. I know this is not typically a day with a lot of viewers. Hopefully, you're all out spending time with friends and family. It's the weekend. You got to chill out. I get it. We got the Chicago Marathon going on right now. It's happening right outside my window. So I'm hearing some screaming and cheering because I'm actually right by the final mile. So fun fact, somebody broke the world record today. 2 hours and 36 seconds. The world record marathon has been run today here in my hometown. If anybody cares. Regular Joe, yo, why should we invest? Hey, we'll get there, Regular Joe. We'll get there. Basically, PulseChain, long story short, is where all the action is happening. So I'm here to bring you the PulseChain news and to let you guys know that I'm not going anywhere. You guys might have not seen much of me for the past, couple weeks. I'm trying to get out at least one stream a week, but in the background, don't you worry, I'm working hard. I'm about 90% done with the latest course. So it's going to be a beginner-friendly course for you to get, onboard new people and get paid in the process. Take you from zero to hero, total beginner knowing nothing about crypto all the way to intermediate and even a little bit of advanced. Depends how deep you want to go. But that's what I've been doing. But coming back, my weekly stream to let you know I'm still alive, doing alive and well, better than I've been in a while. And guys, we got a big month ahead of us. So first things first, let's kick off the PulseChain news. October, we're a week into it, meaning we've got 3 weeks left. And we know for a fact that liquid loans and Mintra are well, we never know anything for 100% certainty, right? Be careful of anybody speaking in absolutes. But we've got liquid loans and Mintra launching this month, and those are going to be two huge protocols coming to PulseChain. Mintra.ai, that's Mintra.ai. Guys, they got a beautiful website, man. This is the NFT platform, fork of Looks Rare, I believe. And it's so much more than that, too. They've got all the financial NFTs, all of the popular, PulseChain NFT collections. Let's take a look at Mintra, okay? And we'll just show you the website because they really blew me away. I always thought it was Mintra.io, but it looks like Sneaky Gerardo got a new domain, Mintra.ai. So we're going to pull up Mintra.ai, and we're going to show you what it looks like. And we're going to even launch, they got a public beta out on the testnet, and it is pretty cool, guys, pretty cool. So let's share my screen. And guys, the sacrifice for this one was a long time ago. I almost forgot about it. I really almost forgot. And I was pretty happy when I checked again lately. I was pretty happy because I thought I only sacrificed a small amount for it. Turns out I checked my sacrifice on HEX Pulse info. So guys, if you ever want to check how much you sacrificed, if you forgot like I did, it's been over a year. I mean, it must have been 2 years since a lot of these projects originally started raising money. Hexpulse.info. If you go to hexpulse.info, you can track every sacrifice for every project that you might have forgotten about. Because I definitely forgot about a lot of these. And lucky me, turns out I put in maybe double what I thought I put in originally. Yeah, I put in about double what I originally thought. So I'm even more excited now. Hoping this one pumps a little bit. It's an NFT platform, guys. It's an NFT platform. Obviously, PulseChain needs an NFT platform, but we've got like 20 of them out right now. I keep seeing people make NFT platforms, and I'm just like, I'm not like, there's so many, and it's like, how many do we need? And to be honest, I haven't really been blown away by any. Like, they all seem pretty okay, but they all kind of do the same thing, right? You list your NFTs and you buy them and sell them, and it's a marketplace, yada, yada. They're all fine. But this one visually, it's very appealing to me. Okay, so on the screen, I've got the smartest PulseChain ecosystem. So they changed their marketing from the greenest to the smartest. I mean, originally they were focusing on that eco-friendly aspect, which we all know PulseChain is incredibly more eco-friendly than Bitcoin. As PulseChain uses 99.99% less electricity than Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I believe, uses the net total electricity of a small nation. I believe it was Norway. Like the entire country of Norway per year uses as much electricity per year as all the Bitcoin mining farms out there, which destroy and pollute the environment. And they don't need to. We've got PulseChain, we've got Ethereum, we've got better blockchains that are proof of stake. And so hop on over if you care about the environment. If you care about the environment, you'll hop over to PulseChain, or at least come on over to Ethereum, at least, right? Look at this, guys. The smartest fee-sharing PulseChain NFT. DeFi Launchpad. They got all the buzzwords, all right? And check the website out. They got royalties. There's a 2.25% fee that goes to all the stakers of the Mintra token. They're almost done. Public testnet. The only step after this is public mainnet. And Gerardo has hinted at sometime in October. He said basically Mintra is probably going to launch in October. So that gives us 23 more days. Look at this team, guys. I remember GameSys from back in the day. He's the CIO, apparently. I never knew the team was this large and organized, but it did raise a lot of money. So that's what you get when you raise enough money to actually pay developers and all that. So good on them. And they actually put it to good use. So let's check out the NFT platform itself. This is the PulseChain NFT app. Okay. That's what they want you to, this is what they want you to think. There's like 20 alternatives. Okay. So I'm not here to pick a winner, but well, really, I tried to pick a winner with my personal bag, right? I'm not an NFT guy, so I don't know. I don't know NFTs. I don't know which ones are good and bad. You got Pulse Funks, Punks. I think that's kind of a spin-off of Punks, obviously. You've got the original Pulse Punks, right? Or you've got the original Punks over here, right? Ethereum Punks. And then you've got the Pulse Punks over here that I've got highlighted now. And these are just, more PulseChain themed. You've got the backgrounds, pink and yellow, Tequila Sunrise. That's what the color scheme is called. You've got HEX staking instances. So you've got actual financial NFTs. What this is a HEX stake that's wrapped, that's tradable as an NFT. You got Bored Ape Yacht Club. You can't miss those. Pudgy Penguins, if you're into those. We got Pudgy Penguins down here. The first NFT collection to sign a brand deal with Walmart, I believe. Hey, but what do I know about NFTs, right? You've got Pulse Domains. Pulse domains is listed on here. So you've got, these are very important. Basically, it's like ETH domains, but if you want to get a .pls domain, you could translate your public address into a human readable name. This is like, the email protocol of blockchain. And on PulseChain, it's called PLS domains. And you've even got some Zen crypto, ZenFTs down here for those guys, if you're into that kind of thing. So guys, this is really awesome. I just like to see that they're including all the big ones. Look, it's like people are selling domain names already. I mean, this is a testnet version, okay? But 369.pls, spicy.pls, the staker class, this guy over here sold for like 2 million Pulse. Some pixel logos, placeholders, guys, PulseChain penguins. Okay, sure. People are going to make so many NFTs. I feel like it's a bit saturated. I feel like it's the market's down a lot. Nobody seems to care about NFTs anymore, but maybe that means the bottom. Maybe this is the bottom, right? So why is Coffee talking about NFTs, guys? I'm just giving you the news. I'm giving you the Mintra news because I sacrificed for it. And that's why I'm interested, because I put money in it. So obviously, right? Obviously. But we do need an NFT platform. I don't know if we need 20 NFT platforms. We seem to have about 20 so far. But this one seems like it's going to be a good one. So keep an eye out for that launching this month. Also, Liquid Loans. Liquid Loans, if you guys don't know what Liquid Loans is, here's a reason to invest in PulseChain, Mr. Regular Joe. I love that question. Why should we invest? This is basically, I should just like keep this question up the entire time because this is why I do what I do, right? Just try to tell you guys why PulseChain is a superior product. And it's also, guys, it's the contrarian play. People don't realize this. They look for confirmation bias all over. What is everybody talking about in crypto? What are all the mainstream, boring old influencers talking about? Polygon, Chainlink, and Solana. That's all you're going to hear them say. Oh, Solana, Chainlink, Polygon, because those are like safe, because those are, they're socially acceptable. But no one wants to talk about the contrarian play, which is actually the one that's going to do well. I would venture to guess. I mean, look, obviously this is where I place my monetary financial bets. So of course I'm biased, but this is where the activity is happening. 14,000 daily active users. That's more than Solana. And I think more than Polygon as well. So that's where the action's happening. 44,000 validators. It's more decentralized than Polygon, more decentralized than Solana. What else, man? We've got all kinds of stats that prove where the action's happening. We've got bridged in assets are just under 100 million. So meaning that's bridged in plus bridged out. The net assets bridged are, I think, 80 or 90 million dollars coming into PulseChain over going out of PulseChain. HEX stakers growing every day, 125,000 stakers growing every single day. Daily payout per T-share per day is ratcheting up. It's almost at 7 daily payout per HEX per T-share per day. If you know, you know. If you don't know about HEX staking, keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on it because it seems to be taking off on PulseChain. whereas it seems to be stagnating. We've kind of flatlined at 120K stakers on Ethereum, but we got 5,000 new stakers in the past 5 months on the PulseChain network, which is good. So the growth is continuing. It seems just that people prefer to stake PulseChain HEX. Seems obvious. It's the cheaper and faster place to stake right now. I still haven't sold my EHEX though, by the way. Anyway, liquid loans. Let's get back to that. What is liquid loans going to do for PulseChain? It's going to be the first algorithmic stablecoin to launch on PulseChain native. Now, we've already got a stablecoin, gainpulsechain.com. If you go to gainpulsechain.com, it's in my description. You can buy stablecoins on PulseChain today in a model that kind of improved upon the TUSD model. So, you connect your bank account, you swap your money into the gainpulsechain.com bank account, you mint your stablecoins on there. Basically, it's all going into a trust on the back end, and you mint new stablecoins with bank dollars. And you can do this all within like under 15 minutes. Also, gainpulsechain.com gives you 5,000 free weight tokens. So if you like free tokens and you want lower fees, get those 5,000 free weight tokens at gainpulsechain.com. That's my invite link, description below. But that's what's called, custodial, a regular stablecoin. That's kind of the concept. I mean, yes, they have a creative way of doing it at gainpulsechain.com, where they're outside of the flow of funds. Okay, that's the real innovation with GainPulseChain. They're outside of the flow of funds, so it makes it a lot more efficient for them to deploy not only countrywide in every single state, but worldwide in every single country. And they keep launching in new countries like every single day. Mexico, they got a bunch of Europe, like most of Europe, a lot of like random countries that might be neglected sometimes. And so, what am I saying? That is a custodial stablecoin, meaning somebody else is in control of issuing that stablecoin, right? They control the issuance. That's how most stablecoins work. That's how USDC works, and I mean, obviously they have different dynamics if you look under the hood, but there's a custodial stablecoin, and then there's an algorithmic stablecoin, meaning the algorithmic stablecoin that Liquid Loans is about to produce is strictly run by code, and it can only exist one LUSD token, or USDL rather. Is it LUSD? I always forget. I think it's LUSD. One LUSD, Liquid Loans stablecoin, must always equal $1 worth of PulseChain, and you can only mint these stablecoins if you put up PulseChain PLS as collateral inside of a vault. So check out liquidloans.io. I mean, I sacrificed for this one back in the day. I'm sure a lot of people did too. I think they raised probably the most money out of anybody because they were the first team that I'm aware of to copy the sacrifice idea, right, as a fundraising mechanism. And so they captured a lot of that value near the top of the bull market when everybody had a lot of extra money to blow. So I remember those days, and I was very generous with Liquid Loans, but it also is providing a very, very needed service. So if you're wondering about what's going on in PulseChain, why it's getting better and better every single day, now we've got a custodial stablecoin. We've got a non-custodial stablecoin very soon. And then we've got 3 bridged in stables. We've got DAI, USDC, and USDT. Those are all coming bridged in. Okay, so you've got a little bit of bridge risk over there, but you still got, I think, let's check the bridge stats, shall we? Let's go ahead and check on the bridge. Let me tell you guys, $80 million bridged into PulseChain, $2 million bridged out of PulseChain. Looks like money is going more or less in a one-way street. I think more money is flowing in than out. It's pretty safe to say that. I'm on gopulse.com looking at the statistics, and we could see 28, 38, 40, 58, about $60 million of stablecoin liquidity in the form of DAI, USDC, and USDT has currently been bridged into PulseChain. So what does that tell you? Guys, people can talk their bags all day long, but look on chain. I mean, I'm giving you on-chain statistics about stablecoins coming into the ecosystem. You can't lie about this. All right? Tell me how many stablecoins have come into Polygon or Solana. That's not where it's at. But every mainstream influencer is going to tell you where it's at because nobody likes to talk about PulseChain because Richard Hart is somehow taboo. He's like a naughty boy. He can't talk about Richard Hart products, even though he's really got nothing to do with the product anymore because it's fully launched complete. Now it's all the developers. Richard Hart built it, and now it's the whole community is building upon it, taking it to the next level. So people don't realize that. They just think, oh, Richard bad. Somebody told me Richard was bad. They don't want you to know about this hidden gem. All right. PulseChain is that hidden gem. The mainstream influencers aren't going to talk about it because they feel like they're risking their reputation or something. And it's totally ridiculous because they can't separate the man from the product. when you can separate the man from the product and look at the on-chain statistics, you realize 11,000 daily active users. I think that's better than, I think that puts us at number 4 or 5 in terms of usage, in terms of real users, daily active users. I mean, we're only 6 months old. Okay, $80 million bridged in, $2 million bridged out. What's bigger, 80 million or 2? That number comes from an on-chain statistic. Here's another on-chain statistic that you can't lie about. 44,000 validators worldwide. We're the 3rd most decentralized blockchain after Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we've only been around for 6 months. So people got to open your eyes. You got to open your eyes and look where the action is happening. Don't just buy something because some influencer told you to, or some influencer told you not to. If some fat boy on the internet told you that HEX was a no-no, bad idea, I wouldn't be taking advice from anybody that looks like that guy. What is his name? I don't even want to say his name because you'll just go looking him up. Hey, what's up, Spike? Regular Joe. Hey, what's going on, man? Let's see. Haven't got free weight tokens yet. Maybe, that bothers me. If you haven't got your free weight tokens yet, message the people at Coast. But here's the thing, guys, about your free weight tokens. You need to make one small transaction in order to get those weight tokens. So that's thanks for pointing this out. Some people might not know. You get your 5,000 tokens after you make a small deposit. So what you can do is you can deposit $1. Okay, you can just, I mean, literally, you can deposit like 50 cents. You can get your weight tokens, but you need to. Those 5,000 tokens are only given to you after your first deposit. Okay, they want to make sure you're like a legitimate user. Yeah, somebody else says, Paul, I never received no coins. Well, that's okay because, like I just said, you need to make a test deposit. If you read the actual instructions on the weight token terms, you would have known that. Okay. Wow. Can't believe I caught you live. Thank you. Thank you, Jay Kurt. You're the man. Thanks, dude. I deposit 100. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for clarifying. Guys, you should go message in the Telegram chat, Stoic in the Telegram chat, or just go to the 0x Coast Telegram chat. Okay. I don't work for the company. All right. So go in the Telegram chat and complain if they're not giving out the tokens, because that's annoying. They should be giving you your weight tokens. I agree. Now they might be doing it on a weekly basis, so you might have to wait a week. I know it took me a week to get mine, but I think they do it on a weekly basis. Anyway, guys, you don't have to use the platform. It's basically the free tokens only really matter if you're using the platform to onboard stablecoins, because what the tokens are, it's like $20 worth of tokens. It's not like a ton of money, but what those tokens do, those weight tokens, is they give you lower fees on the platform. So, you know, it's one of those utility tokens that, yeah, sure, you can dump it for $20 if you really want $20 that bad. But what I'd probably recommend doing, and I mean, this is what I'm doing myself. I'm not making any recommendations, but I stake those tokens on the platform and I lower my fees from 4% to 2%. Just by staking 5,000 weight tokens, you can do that. If they're not paying out the weight tokens, go complain in the Telegram channel, guys. They have a Telegram channel. It's t.me/ let me look it up for you guys. 0x Coast. It's actually just called Coast. It's t.me/Coast0x. Complain in t.me/Coast0x. Sorry about the people not getting their tokens. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, community does determine the value of a network. It's all about network effects. It's all about Metcalfe's law. Typically, the price of a network tends to accrue value as a square of the number of users. What does that mean? If we add 10 times the users, we 100 times the price. And so that's what we're looking to do for the next bull market. If we can 10x the number of users, guys, we've got 11,000 daily active users today. In a bull market, I feel like we can easily blow past 100,000 or 110,000 daily active users. What would that do to the PulseChain price? 100x and beyond potential. I really believe it's 100x and beyond potential coin. But that's not popular to say at the bottom of a bull market or the bear market, right? It's not popular to give big price targets at the bottom. But mark my words, in 2024, when they start printing money again, everyone's going to start calling for 1,000x again. 10,000x is going to come back on the table. But we got to be realistic, guys. We got to be realistic. I'm more bullish than a 10x. I'm less bullish than a 1,000x, at least in the first cycle, right? But if you hold these coins long enough, they could 1,000x if you can actually hold for 5 or 6 years. Like Ethereum went up a whole bunch, but then it went down a whole bunch. But it also, if people held for 7-8 years, they made astronomically more money, right? You got to think about more than one cycle sometimes too. Obviously, you can take profit along the way, but think about more than one cycle, right? We 10,000x. We can 10,000x. All right. It might take 7 or 8 years, though. That's the problem. Everybody just wants to come into crypto, put their 2 years in, and get out, and they think it's that easy. But guys, if you really think it's that easy, but Bitcoin is the only way, oh God, you're not going to get a 10,000x in Bitcoin anymore. Let's hide you from channel, buddy. Alrighty. What are we talking about now, guys? What are we talking about? The latest PulseChain news. So Hedron, guys, there's very cheap fees on Ethereum right now, and I want to talk about the Hedron coin. So Hedron is a coin that you can get as a HEX staker. You can mint it every single day. And a lot of people, they haven't been minting their Hedron on the Ethereum side because gas fees are pretty expensive. So with gas fees being like $4 or $5 to mint Hedron, if your Hedron mintable is not worth more than $5, then it's no longer worth it to mint that Hedron. But today on Ethereum, I've seen pretty low gas prices, and shout out to T-Bird on Twitter for recommending me that. But there's pretty low gas prices on Ethereum right now, and it's a good time to mint Hedron if you want to on the Ethereum blockchain. So if you're paying under $1 per mint, as long as your mints are more than $1, you can mint a whole bunch. I minted like a pretty hefty chunk of Hedron the other day, just yesterday, to be honest, and then I bridged it over to PulseChain because that's where all the liquidity is. So you've got a couple options what you can do with your Hedron, right? You can put it in a liquidity pool. PHUX has some good liquidity pools for that. You can just sell it if you want to just sell it for Pulse or sell it for HEX or whatever other coin. You can dump it, or you can actually just use the protocol, use it to buy stakes in the HSI auctions, right? So there you go. Bitcoin 10,000x again. Yeah, look. If you want, let's say, what is the price of Bitcoin right now? Let's just show you. Let me tell you guys how ridiculous that statement is. 10,000x in Bitcoin, at Bitcoin being $30,000, means Bitcoin would have to eventually be $300 million. So you really think Bitcoin's going to $300 million anytime soon? I mean, if you do, who am I to stop you? Go buy Bitcoin. It's okay. You can go buy Bitcoin. If you think it's going to $300 million, go ahead, guys. Go ahead. But I just want to be realistic about more mature coins have diminishing amplitude. You can just look at the chart. I'll pull up a chart for you on TradingView. It's called the BLX chart. BLX shows the full lifetime history of Bitcoin. People think I'm ripping on Bitcoin. I'm just being realistic. I like Bitcoin. You have to have Bitcoin, all right? None of this whole crypto thing would exist without Bitcoin. Nothing would exist without Bitcoin. Bitcoin started it all. You got to give props, right? But let's turn the log chart on Bitcoin right here, all right? And we're going to go ahead and share my screen. This is proof to you guys. This is proof. I mean, I don't know if people can't see this for some reason, but look at my screen right here. I mean, it's pretty easy to see. You had the most gains in the earliest days, and every cycle has diminishing returns the older a coin gets. Bitcoin, after its first cycle, went up like 3,000x. Second cycle, 600x. Third cycle, it did a 100x. Right? And then the fourth cycle, it only did a 20x from 3K at the low to 69K at the top. We can call that about a 22x maybe. So what do you think is going to happen if we're getting orders of magnitude smaller on the next cycle? Yeah, it's still going to pump, but in the next couple of years, it might go up, I don't know, 4 or 5x if you're lucky. 4 or 5x at the very best. So I want more gains than that, and we know that the altcoin market is basically like leverage on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, Ethereum is going to even outperform Bitcoin, in my opinion. These are all just opinions, guys. We can all have our opinions. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but that's okay. Let's see. Toby Wan wants to know, what's your optimal play with Fame? Staking yield blows. Well, does it? Hold on a second. Let's check out the staking yield over on Fame. Let's go check that out, because I am curious. You've sparked my curiosity, guys. Fame.io. So for those that don't know, we got a GMX fork as well on PulseChain. GMX is a decentralized leverage trading platform. It's even better than DYDX. Okay, it's really even a better protocol in my opinion. Let's go to the Earn tab over on Fame.io. Let's see. If you stake the Fame token now, you're earning 9.5% APR. I don't know, man. 10% APR, 9.5% doesn't suck. So I don't know. Let's not be spoiled here. Let's not pretend that where are you going to get 10% APR in the real world? You know what I mean? But no, I'm getting a lot more APR than that because my optimal play for that is I'm staking it over on PHUX. There's a couple liquidity pools on PHUX that will pay out pretty high right now. And luckily I'm telling you guys this because I'm nice. I could not be talking about this and I could be taking all the yield for myself. But the more people that get in those PHUX pools on phux.io, they dilute the APR for everybody, right? So if you guys want to go ahead and dilute my APR, feel free to. You'll get paid more, but that's not to say that 9%, 9.5% is low, right? It's not low at all. It's just it could be you could be making 20 to 30% on PHUX right now, and they give you a link right there. They give you a link to stake it right on the Fame website, so it's kind of pretty obvious. I mean, it's pretty easy to find. So hopefully that helps. 4G is pretty good. Yep, that's right. That's right. Yeah, if people don't, I mean, Toby Wan, you already know about this stuff, bro. Thanks for the question, but I know you already know. Toby's an expert. He's been here forever, but it's good for the new people to find out, right, guys? If new people didn't know about where they could stake their Fame, you either stake it on the platform. Looks like you're earning 9% APY right now. And guys, that APR goes up if the platform generates more fees. And the PHUX APY, here's the tricky part. Even though you're getting 20% on PHUX, that APY goes down as people dilute the pool, right? Because it's a staking pool. So one day there will probably be a crossover where the staking APR will actually be a better deal than the liquidity providing APR. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to phux.io or go to phame.io. That's the GMX fork. That's leverage trading. And you can learn. Read the documentation, read everything, right? Read everything. So where were we talking about? What were we talking about? Too much liquidity in Bitcoin to move the price up. That's right. Coins pump harder with lower liquidity. It is true, John Kim. Very true. Any idea how much HEX BankX still has? You know what? Unfortunately, BankX, guys, this is just sad, but I think they have like 750 million still. Someone's doing the analysis on that on Twitter. I'm not doing the analysis. Somebody's doing the analysis. Guys, let's not worry about that. They did dump a little bit. I think they dumped like 50 million lately. Yo, Mammy, thank you for the tip, Yo, Mammy. So don't forget this Impulse, Senior Coffee. Okay, here's the latest with Impulse. Here's the latest on impls.finance. All right. It's forked from a successful protocol over on AVAX. Code was audited over there. So not audited on PulseChain, but still relatively safe. It's been working for 2 months. I made a lot of yield on it. I have pulled my yield out of there temporarily. I might go back in. What do I like about it? Low supply, gives more perceived value for market cap to go up. It's also got no deposit and withdrawal fees, which I like. The APY, though, does seem to be low. People seem to be dumping the Impulse token a lot. So I guess if I had to make a recommendation there, I feel like they should try to get people to stake more Impulse or stake more LP. They should try to get people to stake more Impulse/PLS LP tokens, because that's what's going to keep money in the system and prevent people from selling, right? Because as of right now, that token just looks like permadump right now. But it's a solid protocol that works. Nothing is without risk. Nothing is without risk. It could all that one could definitely crash. So I mean, don't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to yield farming, okay? But if you want to experiment, you could try it. I know he's fixing a bug on the homepage right now that's displaying the APR a little bit off. But it's a good way to kind of level up the LP if you want to. Pip Shinobi says, oh, and thank you for the tip, Yo, Mammy. Do you have a PLS validator? Pip Shinobi, I do. I have one PLS validator. One little guy over there. He's doing his best. He's validating as hard as he can and as fast as he can, that little guy. I'm using validatorstore.com. Let's say that one more time. Validatorstore.com, for people that don't know. It's run by David Feeder. David Feeder's been a good friend, acquaintance, whatever. I've known him for a long time. Basically, I trust the guy. He's a professional network engineer, retired. Actually, guess what? He retired because he became financially free from HEX and PulseChain. So just another example of how this stuff can lead to financial freedom. And what does David choose to do in his free time? Well, he gives back to the community. So he created validatorstore.com to give back to the community. And he's offering, you can buy his boxes for $2,000. So that's what I did. I bought his $2,000 computer. Comes with, comes with a screen. It comes with a keyboard. It comes with a Linux OS, booted onto a thumb drive. You can just load it up right there. Super easy. It comes with an Intel NUC with an i7 processor, 64 gigs of RAM. I think it's like 2 terabyte SSD, and my internet speed is pretty good. So it's definitely overkill for what the basics are. You only need 16 gigs of RAM, but this one's got 64. It's a very nice NUC. I really, really enjoy it. I mean, I'm considering using it just as a regular computer. Like, I'm going to be moving, so I'm going to probably be using that as a regular computer because it's pretty powerful for such a tiny little box. But it does cost $2,000. Now, you can buy your own computer for probably much cheaper than $2,000. Or if you have your own computer, you're probably going to want to make a dedicated Pulse validator computer. For people that don't know, Pulse staking and Pulse validating is the same thing. When people are talking about validators on Pulse, or how do I stake my Pulse, you stake your Pulse in a validator. Okay, so if you want to learn more, go to launchpad.pulsechain.com and read the website if you want to learn more. But what I'll say about how to stake Pulse is it's not for the faint of heart. You need to be a little tech savvy, or you need to at least have a little bit of confidence in yourself and your technical abilities, because you do have to run command line scripts. And that's what Validator Store will do. There's a tutorial on validatorstore.com. So after you have your computer, right, you buy your computer, either you buy it from David or you get like a cheaper one. Maybe you use one that you already have. It's highly recommended that you boot up Linux onto that. You can get Linux for free online, Ubuntu. You can just download it and boot it up on a fresh restart. Then you go to validatorstore.com. You watch the tutorial that's smack on the homepage of that screen, and that'll install Geth, Beacon Chain, and your validator node. You'll be installing Aragon and Prism. That's your consensus and your Geth basically. And so from there, you can deposit your 32 million Pulse or more. So it's 32 million Pulse per validator. Today that costs about $1,400. And guys, you might want to get a hold of 32 million Pulse, just because I don't think it's really ever going to get that much cheaper to be a validator than today. Okay. You imagine if the price goes up 10x, then it's going to cost $14,000 to be a validator. So that's $1,400 is affordable for most people. If you save money and you work and you have a job and you grind, you could probably save up $1,400. $14,000, much harder to save up for. Okay. So if you want to run a validator, it's like you got to think about the future price action as well. Validating might not be profitable right now. I mean, it is profitable if you run it yourself, because it all goes to you. But there's another option that David actually offers, and that's cloud hosting. So another really cool tip about PulseChain validating: if you want to stake your Pulse and you're afraid of the command line, and you don't want to go to codecademy.com and learn about command line, that's what I did. I literally just taught myself. Codecademy.com. You can learn all about command line over there. But if you don't want to, if you want someone else to do it for you, you can pay David $300 a month for a staking service, cloud-hosted staking service. And before we all complain, oh my God, $300 a month, it's 70% cheaper than AWS and Azure. 70% cheaper. So David's really giving everybody an amazing deal right here. He's running his own servers, his own server farm with backup generators. It's in the NYC1, US1 region, safe from natural disasters like hurricanes. It's heavy duty shit. He's a professional network engineer, okay? Or he was, and now he's a professional PulseChain network engineer, basically. He turned this into his kind of full-time gig. Basically made a living out of just helping the community further decentralize. So you can also pay him $300 a month for hosting, which again, 70% cheaper than paying Amazon. And he'll set up all the work for you. And you could always, email him if you have any questions, like if you want to withdraw or if you want to deposit more. You could always email and talk to David Feeder. It's all on validatorstore.com. I have one. I'm running it just fine. But to be honest, guys, I'm going to be shifting to the cloud hosted pretty soon, because I'm going to be living more of a nomadic lifestyle where I'm going to be traveling a little bit. Like, I'm going to be not settled in one place all the time. So I don't have the confidence to just keep my computer running the whole time that I'm gone. Let's say I'm on a trip for a month somewhere, right? Do I really trust that my internet's not going to go down in that time? I don't. And so if something bad happens when I'm away, that's the thing about running a validator is you have to be there and make sure that your internet's running. Otherwise, you could incur a small penalty. Now, the penalties are small, but you don't want to forget about it for a very long period of time. You need to monitor it. Just make sure everything's up and running. And again, if you want to pay for a cloud hosting service, like a done for you type deal, $300 a month, that's a great deal to me. So I'm probably going to be shifting over to that very soon. I might even get the yearly package because you get 2 months for free if you pay for the year. What are we talking about? Richard P. Old man says, what about communists? What about communists? What about communists? Well, it's a free token that you can mint for just mining HEX. If you're mining HEX, you can also mint not only Hedron, but communists as well. Let's see here. I got to go to YouTube real quick. Dun, dun, dun. What about communists? What about communists? I mean, it's communists had a nice pump lately. Let's pull up communists, okay? Let's pull it up on the chart. We'll do price charts right now. Let's pull up price charts. I like to go to dexscreener.com. If you're new here, dexscreener.com is where the action's happening. Dexscreener.com is where you want to be. And communists, sounds like communist, right? But here we go. 13K of liquidity. Not the most liquidity, but it's not zero. It's not zero. And India had a nice little pump lately. Communist coin. Let me pull it up. Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Share my screen. Comcoin. If you want communist token, you can go to getcomcoin.com. That's getcomcoin.com. Getcomcoin.com is it'll take you to communist.app, and it'll take you to the place where if you have a running HEX stake, if you already have a running HEX stake, you can mint this coin additionally for free. Now, everyone thought it was worthless because it had a tough transition from PulseChain from Ethereum to PulseChain. But just recently, we've seen it go from, we saw it do a 20x, and people sold it back down. So it's sitting right now at about 5x off of the lows that it was at 2 or 3 weeks ago. Yep. So, well, actually, 48 days ago. So a month and a half ago, it was really, really low. Everyone kind of forgot about it. Today, it's currently 20x higher than it was 48 days ago. Now, be careful. Don't be careful rushing to buy this coin. I'm not recommending people go buy this token. It is low liquidity. All right. It's low liquidity. So I'm not saying I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it personally, but it did pump pretty hard lately. And you can get it for free, just like Hedron, if you have a HEX stake. Let's see. What about fascism? I don't know. Where's win fascist coin? Forget the fee. I just need liquid HEX. Yeah, then bridge over. What are we talking about? 0.3% is minuscule compared to other fees in the world. What is Mr. Kim guy rambling about? What? Guys, what are we talking about? I'm lost in the chat. Let's not argue in the chat, guys. It's Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. All right. Eagle T said, HEX went down further, still enjoying your mad gains. I still am, sir. I still am. Tommy Vile says, Crypto, shout out to you, bro. We never met before, but hope to meet you at a PLS or HEX event one day and shake your hand. Cheers, dude. Thanks, Tommy. I'm sure we'll meet one day, dude. I'm sure we'll meet. I know the PulseChain tour is still going on. They just had their Miami event. They're going to be headed to Dallas next, and then Arizona, Phoenix. I think they're going to be ending in California with a cruise, or actually Vegas, I believe, and then Cali. And they're going to finish with a cruise. Alex Santos said, I asked a question earlier. Let me see, Alex Santos. Bum, bum. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the kind words, Tommy. Alex Santos missed your question. Thanks for reminding me. Mr. Coffee, would it be a good idea to buy HEX from ETH on PulseX? HEX from ETH on PulseX and bridge it to the ETH side. Can't buy on Matcha or Uni. You can buy it on cowswap.com. If you want to buy it directly on Ethereum, cowswap.com is where you're going to buy your EHEX. Now, I'm not currently buying EHEX right now. I'm not selling it either, though. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen. I'm hoping that some liquidity farms come back. especially on 9-inch. I'm hoping for some PHEX, EHEX liquidity farms. And that would make me a lot more interested in EHEX again. But check out CowSwap, dude. Otherwise, you are correct. Otherwise, yes, you are absolutely right. Also, if you want cheaper fees, right? If you want to buy EHEX, you can just buy it on the PulseX side and then bridge it over to the ETH side. So you know what you're doing, Alex. You know what you're talking about, bro. You're good. Out here in London at the moment. Let's see. Out here in London at the moment, do you or the Hex gang ever venture across the pond? Dang, dude, I was just in London. Well, not just in London. I think I was in London in May. Oh, yeah, I was in London when PulseChain launched. We had a meetup in London on May 13th, and it just so happened to be the day PulseChain went live. And it was pretty legendary. I was very... that was crazy, man. But yeah, I've been to London twice. Well, wait a second. Yeah, I've been to London twice. Once I was there for PulseChain or for Hex's second birthday party, where I met Richard Hart, took a few pictures. It was a great time. Then I was there again with. It's funny. I was in London when PulseChain launched. I was in London when Hex had a second birthday party. I'm sure I'll be back again. Alex says, "Thank you for what you do. I've learned so much for you. Thanks for the answer." Thank you, Alex. Thanks for watching. And yeah, feel free to keep asking questions. Mine Bitcoin for 2.5 years. Definitely tech savvy. Does validating draw a lot of electricity? No, sir. Validating draws as much electricity as your computer power draws, because it doesn't use mining machines. So it's just like, yeah, if you can mine Bitcoin, you can mine PulseChain. Like if you can mine Bitcoin, you can be a validator. It's probably even a bit easier because you don't have to pay for these expensive machines. Like you don't have to pay for ASIC miners and wait for them to get shipped to you from China. And then by the time they get shipped to you, they're not even profitable anymore. Like there's a lot of stuff that makes it hard for newbies to get into Bitcoin mining. It's kind of become just, let's be honest, most of the mining is centralized in China. There's a lot in the USA too, but it's all mining pools now. And a lot of them have to use like, geothermal, or they have to be next to, hydropower. So for the everyday person in their basement, it's become a lot less profitable. You know what I mean? Now, PulseChain staking, just like Ethereum staking, if you can run some command line prompts, again, check out validatorstore.com, Pip Shinobi. This might be right up your alley. You can be making 15.6% APY. I believe that's what that's what it's paying out today. 15.6% APY for staking Pulse. And yeah, your electricity bill is not going to be any different than if you just left a computer plugged in. Like you're probably not even going to notice it. And you can run many miners from the same computer. So let me make that clear. You can run as many miners as you want from the same computer because it's proof of stake. So it's all about how much money you put in the validators rather than how many machines you have. Address the bridge copy. What about the bridge? I addressed the bridge earlier. There's 81 million. Let me address the bridge statistics. There are $79 million worth of assets bridged into PulseChain in the form of DAI, USDC, USDT, Ethereum, EHEX, and wrapped Bitcoin. And there are 2.4 million dollars of assets bridged out of Ethereum in the form of PLS, HEX, and PulseX. So I'm guessing these people bridged out to probably provide liquidity pools over on the ETH side. That's what a lot of people do. Oh, guys, I keep forgetting the main point of today. I'm sorry, guys. I keep forgetting the primary point that I wanted to talk about today. Oh, my gosh. What am I doing? The primary thing that I wanted to talk about was perpetuals.maximus.cash. All right, so that's the title of this video. Is the base stake, the yearly base stake pool is coming due today, and you've only got 1 day left to decide if you want to join it or not. So look at it this way. If you want to hold HEX for a year and you think it's going to go up in 1 year's time, I think it will. In 1 year's time, I think HEX will be higher than it is now. And if you also agree with that, you can get even more yield by joining a staking pool, right? So in HEX, there's bonuses, and there's a bonus called Bigger Pays Better. And as a staker on your own in HEX, you can't really often earn a lot from Bigger Pays Better. Most of your bonus HEX is going to come from Longer Pays Better, because the metric that you have more control over is the number of days that you stake. Now, the metric that you don't have as much control over is how big is your stake. And so the Bigger Pays Better bonus in HEX typically only works out for institutional level money. I mean, it tops out at 150 million HEX, and it only really starts to matter when you're staking like 10 million HEX and up. And it maxes out at 10%. At 150 million HEX, you get 10% bonus APY. So these guys over at Maximus DAO, shout out to Gold Key and Dipcatcher, they created a staking pool where we can all pool our HEX together with a smart contract, trustless, audited. And guys, the first Maximus base stake just came due successfully. And you ended up earning 26% more yield than you would have with a regular HEX stake today. So if you want to convert your HEX into base token, you go to perpetuals.maximus.cash. You have 1 day and 6 hours and 9 minutes left to make a decision on this. Perpetuals.maximus.cash. And now there's different pooled stakes. There's a pooled 1 year, there's a 3 year, 7 year, and 10 year. But the pooled 1 year stake is collecting money right now, and people are redeeming it. And currently it takes 1.23 HEX, or let's see. Currently it takes 0.89. You get 0.89 base per HEX. Okay. And let's see how much is actually gone into here. Dashboard. We've got 62 million base already. So essentially what you can think of this like is that you are getting a bigger pays better bonus of the size as if you were staking a 62 million HEX stake. So it's getting, probably 5 to 7% more AP, more bonus HEX from that bigger pays better bonus. It's sitting at about $500,000 right now. We'll see if people want to do it. Okay. I put a little bit, but you don't have to. It's not like you have to do this, but you do have to decide if you want to stake HEX. You will earn more yield by putting it in this base stake. I mean, unless you're staking 60, million HEX, you're not going to earn as much from the bigger pays better. Well, I think maybe if they take you'd have to be staking at least 30 million HEX on your own to match what the bonuses that you're going to get from base would pay. So unless you're staking 30 million HEX, if you've got less than 30 million HEX, base will probably be a good deal. And it's going to come due on October 2024. And who knows? I mean, a lot of people are saying October 2024 could be a good time of the year for the markets. It might not be. We could still be in a bear market. Could be in the Great Depression. We could have 5 more years of bear market. But a lot of people think that October will be brighter times financially, at least in the crypto markets, because we've got the Bitcoin halvening, got the Bitcoin ETFs coming out. We know these things are happening. We know the Bitcoin halvening is in April 2024. We know the ETFs are probably going to launch, Rocca Negra. They're probably going to launch their ETF within 6 months. 3 to 6 months seems to be the estimate. So they're all kind of timing the market right along with the Bitcoin halvening. It sounds like they want to get a short-term pump in the markets, doesn't it? So although the ETF is long-term bearish, the Bitcoin ETF is short-term bullish, as well as the halvening, right? It's a narrative that people like to buy into. So got extra team with the base stake. Also a good idea, Ted Nelson. Got extra team with that. Yeah. The team holders, let's see. I probably made maybe like $500 or $600 worth of rewards in team. I got some HEX. I got some Maxi. I got some more team, which I just restaked the additional team. I recompounded it. But if you want to look into team token as well, Team Token gets a lot of extra rewards for being part of the DAO, so to speak. Could you explain what this Maximus base is? I'm quite late to this. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. Yeah, sure. Let me explain this one more time. So base is a pooled stake where people built a smart contract that you put your HEX into, and everybody pools their HEX together so that you can take advantage of the bigger pays better bonus. See, in HEX, if you stake more HEX into one stake, you get a higher yield. But not a lot of people can really afford to take advantage of this bonus because it only starts to matter more so when you're staking like 10 million HEX and up. And 10 million HEX, I think, is like $80,000. So that's not a lot of people aren't making stakes that big, except for whales and potentially institutions one day. Now, we can all act like we're one institution if we use this decentralized smart contract, right? We're almost like a decentralized autonomous organization because we're all pooling our HEX together in this smart contract. It's creating one giant HEX stake and it's getting a bigger yield. That way, at the end of the year, when the stake comes due, you can withdraw your base and convert your base back into HEX. So on the way in, you're converting HEX to base, and your base token represents your share of the staking pool. And on the way out, you convert base to HEX, and what you're going to be able to do is you'll be able to mint a lot more HEX yield. You'll be able to mint a lot more HEX than you started with, basically. And the yield is going to be even higher than it would have been on your own. So I hope that makes sense. Also, yeah, gas prices could be much higher, so you save that money too. Good point, Crypto Ewok. Good point. Hex Reflections is out, baby. All right, I'll let you chill. Hey guys, you know what? Let's talk about meme coins and reflection tokens. Just because I don't buy them personally, I mean, I've dabbled. I've dabbled in PDI. I've dabbled here and there. It doesn't mean that they don't have a somewhat of a net benefit. You know what I mean? So different strokes for different folks. Some people like reflection tokens. I don't, but some people do. And some people like meme coins, which that's not a game I like playing. It's a short-term game. And I'm more of a long-term passive player. Okay. I like passive income. I like long-term strategies, but some people like the adrenaline rush of, degenning on some meme coins. And so, boy, do we have meme coins over on PulseChain. If you like meme coins, if you like reflection tokens, my God, do we have a shit ton of those over on PulseChain. We've got meme coins out the yin yang. We've got reflection tokens out the wazoo. So stop by PulseChain if that's your thing. You might be from Binance Smart Chain. A lot of BSC boys would probably really enjoy PulseChain because I think it might end up taking the position of BSC one day. I don't know if PulseChain will ever take the position of Ethereum in terms of usage, but it might get up to BSC levels one day. And that's a very highly used blockchain. Here's another thing too. A lot of people think, look, PulseChain is not meant to be an Ethereum killer, by the way. It's meant to live symbiotically with Ethereum. So people don't realize that PulseChain was actually meant to reduce the load of Ethereum. It's a clone that's cheaper and faster so that people can offload their applications, offload their users, and start building on PulseChain, which is the exact same thing as Ethereum, but it shares the load. And it fixes the primary problem with adoption on Ethereum, which was that basically fees were too damn high. Nobody wants to use Ethereum if they got to pay $20 for a swap and $10 for a send. These are simple transactions that should only cost pennies. They only cost pennies on PulseChain. And as a result, we actually see pretty low fees on Ethereum right now. So could it be that PulseChain is already doing its job? It's cheaper and faster, but it also, I don't know. I don't want to give credit to PulseChain for this, but it seems to have lowered the fees on Ethereum as well. Now, obviously, that probably is more so due to the bear market. So when the bull market comes back, I'm pretty sure fees are going to shoot up again on Ethereum, and everyone's going to remember why PulseChain was invented. Right? PulseChain was invented to be an alternative playground, to live symbiotically. They're not enemies of each other. They are friends. PulseChain and Ethereum are friends. Whoa, links to base, Mr. Coffee? Yes, sir. Perpetuals.maximus.cash. Link in the chat there. Perpetuals.maximus.cash. So yeah, if you want to join that HEX stake, look, if you're going to stake HEX if you're going to hold your HEX for a year anyway, like you might as well join the base stake, right? We already know it works because it's been successful for the first year. The first year was successful, so we know the code works. Now here's the real alpha, right? If you want to buy into like a 3, 7, or 10-year stake, there's some serious discounts to market right now. You can go to lookintomaxi.com. That's lookintomaxi.com. And you can actually see there's some deficits right now. Let me tell you guys, lookintomaxi.com. Let's pull this up here. On the PulseChain side, maybe we got to wait for let's wait for the data to load, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the data is not loading right now. I think there's some arbitrage opportunity. I think there's a pretty extreme discount on the DESI side, the 10-year stake. And if you want to stake for 10 years, you just got to realize that is a long time for people. Nobody believes in crypto, right? What drives the price of base? The price of HEX. Yeah, the price of HEX it's very simple. The price of HEX and the open market price. So there will be times where people are overvaluing base relative to its treasury value, and there are times where people will undervalue base relative to its treasury value. Its treasury value is just what is the value, USD value of all the HEX that's locked in that base stake, plus all the yield that it's earned so far in terms of calculating HEX per T-share per day, times days, times price of HEX. Okay. So you're always going to have a treasury value for base, which you'll be able to see on the website, perpetuals.maximus.cash. And the price is just based on the price might fluctuate a little bit at a premium and discount just due to the fact that it's traded on the open market. Sometimes there's arbitrage opportunities, but when you're buying base, you're really just buying HEX. Okay, like people don't realize this. Buying Base is not really a separate token. It's just a derivative token of HEX. It represents your share of a staking pool that one day, when the stake comes due, you can redeem it for HEX. So it's almost literally like you're buying HEX. It's a derivative, okay? Hey, Coffee, how well do you think the bridge will do under the bull market when we haven't had that much volume before in the history of PulseChain? Yeah, so we did have a pretty intense volume spike in the early days, and it really pushed the bridge to its limit. But luckily, the early days, like, I don't know if people remember, but in the first 2 weeks of PulseChain, the bridge was very, very slow because people were overwhelmingly trying to bridge stuff into PulseChain. They were going as fast as they could, and they were really putting the bridge to its limit. And what the devs realized that they actually had to do something about that. So they made a lot of improvements to the bridge to be able to handle much more throughput if needed. So if we ever get back up to those bridge levels in the bull market, which might happen, it could definitely happen. Now that was a single spike. I think when we go into a bull market, it'll be more of a gradual, linear, maybe slightly parabolic, but not as crazy as that original spike. But the devs have already enhanced the bridge, is what I'm saying. They've already made bridge enhancements to handle a heavier load because they were already load tested at the beginning of PulseChain. I'm kind of happy that happened at the beginning, right? Everyone's complaining, oh, the bridge is broken, blah, blah, blah. Everyone's crying about it. And it's like they made the bridge better, and then all the complainers had to look for something else to complain about, right? Damn, Coffee, how many screens are you looking at? Your eyes are working hard there. I'm doing a lot, man. There's a lot going on in this head of mine here. I'm trying to look at the camera. I'm trying to read the comments. I'm trying to think. And so sometimes my eyes go up and to the right when I'm thinking. Yeah, a lot of RPMs in my brain up here right now. It's kind of hard to live stream, you got to think on your feet. I used the Pulse Bridge last night and it worked great. The night before it wasn't working. That's my experience. Okay, Pepe, that's interesting. I mean, if it wasn't working, that you probably just need to refresh the page, try to put your transaction through one more time. Yeah, I used the bridge last night. I got my transactions across in 15 minutes. So usually it takes a maximum of about 30 minutes to get your coins across, but most people will get their coins in like 15 to 20 minutes. Naeem says, is the PulseChain bridge working? It should be. Hold on, let me check. Now you got me all scared. Let me go check. Bridge.pulsechain.com. Maybe they're updating it right now. Maybe they're updating the bridge right now because it's not coming up. Let's see. Let me go to the Telegram right now. PulseChain bridge support. All right. I'm going to do live troubleshooting for you guys. Looks like the latest release of mobile MetaMask broke the API to add the network to MetaMask. After manually adding it, it's fine. Okay. I have not seen anybody complain about it yet. I have not seen anybody complain about the bridge yet. Maybe try in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Otherwise, you can always go. There's a Telegram channel, guys. PulseChain Bridge Support. It's called t.me/PulseBridgeOfficial. If the bridge is not working, voice your complaints to the developers because that's something important that they need to know about. We are the network, everybody. We all have a part in making the network better. Yes, crypto is buggy sometimes, but you can actually go make your voice heard. You get in Telegram, you get on Twitter, follow the developers. They do respond. They do make everything better. Speaking of making everything better, Gamma, DevOps engineer, just made a Beacon RPC API. In English, what is that? Remote procedure call to the Beacon chain application programming interface. It means that developers can build apps a lot more easier now. And they can do so with an API that writes and reads directly to the Beacon chain. Okay, so they can use these functions to push data to the Beacon chain or to write or to read data from the Beacon chain. And they can make all kinds of new applications. They can connect front ends to different backend protocols. They can fork code easier and they connect to front ends even easier. They can make new tools, new portfolio trackers, new applications, mobile apps, desktop apps. It's a lot easier to build on PulseChain right now because we have a Beacon RPC API. Go follow Gamma on Twitter. Gamma DevOps. Hold on. I think it's G4MM4. Gamma IO. G4MM4IO. Such a developer name, isn't it? This guy made an RPC. This is a big deal. I'm going to pull this up really quick. Guys, if you want me to share my screen, let's go through Twitter, shall we? All right, we've got my screen up right here. This guy, Gamma DevOps Engineer, makes open, public, borderless, neutral, censorship-resistant technology. He just released Gamma RPC on GitLab. Deploy a simple RPC endpoint, and also you can use his you can use all of his stuff. If you're a builder, you need to be following this guy and use these new RPCs. They are awesome. Look at this. Beacon API. RPC Beacon API is live on testnet and mainnet. Big deal. This is a big deal. Give that a like. So you've got API endpoints that you can now hit, and it saves you a lot of hassle in development time. All developers, this is good. Fast Abdul says bridge works fine. Don't be silly. Yeah, I don't know. It's not coming up for me. Maybe I just need to okay, the bridge is probably fine. What's up, Coffee? What's up, Crypto Foo? How you doing, bro? Let's see. Well, guys, we hit an hour. We got 205 listeners. Guys, go back and watch the replay if you haven't already. A lot of good news to share in the PulseChain world. Let's do a quick recap. Liquid Loans is launching this month. PulseChain's own stablecoin and 0% APY loans. You can mint your own stablecoins using Pulse's collateral. Mintra, the hottest NFT platform, coming to PulseChain. You've got ZenFTs. You've got HSI NFTs. You've got Pulse Punks. You've got Pudgy Penguins. All those. Hedron. You might want to mint your Hedron because there's cheaper fees on Ethereum right now than I've seen in a long time. Maximus. Go to perpetuals.maximus.com and decide in the next day if you want to get into the Maximus Perpetual pool. The base stake will be closing in 1 day. Check the website out, learn about it. PulseChain, 11,000 daily active users, 44,000 validators, $80 million bridged. HEX stakers, 125 stakers and counting, 125,000 stakers and counting. Slowly growing up on the PulseChain network, even during the bear market. Very impressive. And we're going to get to some other stuff in the future. I need to make a video about Pulse LN. Did you know you could buy PulseChain with Cash App? It's pretty awesome. Be making a video about that soon. All right, guys. Peace out. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, share the video. It all helps the algorithm. Every little thing you do matters. I'll see you on the next one.